What's Gucci and the Booty family? Key here. Happy Friday. I do have a new, can y'all see it? We got the system, we got the setup. I know my audio has been so cooked. So I ended up, we did a business purchase and I copped this new mic. So hopefully it sounds good. But anyway, I just pulled up to my, to a thrift store and I've had this freaking thing that I've been trying to sell at the flea market for $10 and nobody has bought it. So what I'm gonna try to do, it's complete too, whole the skateboard and the game is in there and all of that. But I'm gonna trade that in and see if we could turn this from the $10 that I was asking for it and hopefully find enough shoes to where the 20% turns this into a $20 failed purchase thing. Just this. Can I get the
Yeah, I give you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, yeah. I got a question. This is a bunch of clothes that I bought, but I lost the receipt. Do y'all have like a, what do you call it? A thing.
Return policy?
Not return, but what's when you can return it without a receipt? Yo, this is low-key so painful to watch because he said return policy, which is technically what I was asking for, but what I was specifically looking to ask him is if they had some sort of store credit policy. He said return policy. That wasn't good enough for my brain at the time, but that's what I was looking for. And I know he's like, bro, just... what are you talking about?
What we normally do is when you don't have a receipt, we can offer you exchange, but at half price of the value of the items that you got.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm down to do that. I'd rather do that than not.
That's cool.
So should I just leave it up here and go shop around?
Leave it up here, and whenever you're ready, it's gonna be right behind the register.
All right, yeah, that works for me. And thus the hunt began. Now I first ran into this wild-looking shirt, and I wanted it for me. I didn't grab it, but looking back now at the footage, I kind of feel like I should have grabbed it. This thing's kind of fire. Then I made my way over to the sneakers, and the first thing I see are some bright red biking shoes. Now biking shoes can do really well, except for these are some knockoff joints. I don't even know what that is. A movie? One of the most important things I've learned while dealing with secondhand items is to always thoroughly check what you're about to buy. I came across these Hoka Clifton 8s and they weren't in the greatest condition, but I still could have profited off of them if the bottoms weren't absolutely destroyed, like the tread was peeling up. So yeah, I left those. But right next to those were a pair of Peloton bike shoes, and Peloton is a good name, but it's not as good as it used to be. These only sell for like $30 to $40, so I'm not gonna pick them up at this price point anymore. I don't even know why I did now. And here goes one of my favorite sleeper brands, Ultras, and they sell just about as good as Hoka's, but unfortunately they're asking $16 for them. Their prices have gotten really high lately. I still grabbed them though. Now, if you look at my store, you'll see that I have a lot of Brooks, and it got to the point where I stopped picking them up. But then I realized when it comes to sneakers, there's different models and sizes and even categories like kids, women, and men. So you'll never know who needs what when. And Brooks sell well, so whenever I see them, I pick them up. Allbirds. These used to be much better. I literally said Allbirds used to be so much better, which they were. There was a point in time when finding Allbirds was like finding gold. It was selling like hotcakes, but that's not the case anymore, which I clearly know. So somebody please tell me, why did I pick these up? I thought these were LeBrons at first, but they're actually called the Space Hippies, which can sell for some decent coin. Unfortunately, there was a tear on the left side that I didn't notice. I'm glad I still picked them up though, because I ended up selling them on Poshmark for $39. Topo is a funny brand because on paper they're fantastic. They have a great sell-through rate and they sell for like $40 to $50, but I have like 4 pairs, maybe 5, and I haven't sold a single pair yet, so I don't know. I was gonna grab these, but they didn't have any laces. I decided to leave them behind. Finally made my way to the women's section, and the first pair of shoes I see are these Vibram 5-finger toe shoe things, and these things are fire. Pick them up every time you see them. These sold like immediately for $40. Then I got another pair of Brooks. As long as the tread is good, the price is good, and the model isn't incredibly old, I'll pick them up. So if you look at my cart, you can see that there's stuff in there that I didn't mention in this video, and that's because I grab a lot more than I actually bring home. I load up my cart and then check comps on everything and return the stuff to the shelf that doesn't meet my criteria. And while doing that, I saw a pair of Nikes that I hadn't noticed before. They are the Nike ACG Locates, and they can sell for like $40, $50, which is my sweet spot. Those are the type of shoes that I love picking up, so I added those to the cart pronto. And then while I was putting away some random shoes, it don't even matter, something just caught my eye. I saw a gleam a glistle, some golden. I heard a cha-ching, and I look up and I come across for the first time ever a pair of Ferragamos. I don't even look at dress shoes. I never look at dress shoes, but something just said, check out this pair right here. And it's a pair of Ferragamo horse bit loafers, and these can sell for over $100. They were taxing, asking $18, but the cost is definitely worth the flip. Then I headed over to the expensive wall, and I actually ended up picking up 2 pairs of shoes. Normally I don't grab anything, but these were actually worth it. First being the Nike Dunk Sky Highs. They can sell for like $60-$70. And then I grabbed these Nike Air Max 90 cow print shoes, and the comps on these were all over the place. I saw some selling for like $50, a pair for $80, and even go up to as high as $180 used. And with comps like those, I decided it was worth the gamble. The amount of licks that I hit, oh my god, some Ferragamos. I couldn't pass up on that. And then when I went over to like their expensive wall, not only was the lady was just taking up that entire side, like she was just all, I kind of like had to maneuver around her. But bro, those 2 pair of kicks, that one, I knew the Nike wedges were like sought after. Like I knew they held some sort of value, but going for like $90-$100, oh my. Not to mention those moo cow, I don't even know what they were for real, but they was hitting for, I seen a sold used pair for $200, 200 euros at my, bro, I can't wait to go over this stuff. I didn't expect to hit licks like we did today, but yes, baby, that has happened. That's what happens when you show up. All right, I'm back in the dungeon and it's several hours later. I had so much more planned for today, but unfortunately a family crisis happened that I needed to take care of. So instead, I'm gonna pull orders. The first one being these New Balance 1080s, I think. No, these are New Balance 880s, and I got these for $12, I believe, at the thrift. I'm like 90% sure I got them at a thrift for $12, and they sold for a best offer of $51, and I got back $40, so that's a $30 profit. And these big steppers, I definitely got at the thrift. As soon as I saw these, I was like, hey, yo, what are those? And I looked them up. They're actually the Adidas and Beyonce Ivy Park collaboration that they did. These are big steppers. I paid $10. Oh, you can see Ivy Park on the bottom there. And they sold on Poshmark again for $50 plus shipping. So I got back $40, another $30 come up. I love Poshmark, dude. It's become my best selling platform, especially after becoming below standard on eBay. It's really picked up the slack and skyrocketed to my #1 platform. And I was honestly afraid of Poshmark at first because I thought that I had to sit there, follow, share. And I would do that like at first, but really all you need to do is just list for real. Like as long as you're listing consistently on Poshmark, you know, there's a million other Poshmarkers out there and they'll share, like your stuff, and you just get sales. It's like the best thing ever. Now for the eBay sales, I sold this on eBay for $26.99 free shipping, and I don't care because I got these from my mom. She gave me these for free, so it's whatever I get after shipping for this is all profit. But these, however, are a pair of FootJoys, and I don't know if I just was impatient or they don't hold as much value as I thought, or they used to, because I sold these for $27 free shipping, and I paid $7 for them at the thrift. But now returning to a great flip, we got these. Look at this pair is like super clean. A pair of Brooks Ghost 15s. I used to skip out on Ghost until I realized they actually sell well. This pair sold for $59.99 free shipping, and then we had to refund them because apparently the person that bought them doesn't know their shoe size. And I got them at the thrift for $8.64 after I used my 20% off code. And then lastly, these sold. I'm sure you can hear that it's absolutely pouring outside right now, but I sold these pair of Foamposite pennies. I think it's both Air Foamposite penny, something like that, because I know the 1 cent on the back there is for penny. Anyways, I think it's like the plum colorway, something like that. I picked these up at the flea market from my dog. Shout out to him. I normally don't pick foams up for like more than like $20. That's typically what I spend on them. I didn't know at the time, but the bottoms, is it on this? Oh, I think it's on this pair. The bottom, you can kind of see it really. Their bottoms are bulged out and like bubbling. So like, honestly, I didn't know what to price these at. The condition was okay. You can see it's like broken right there. I didn't know what to price these at. The comps are all over the place, but these ended up selling for $69.99 free shipping. I paid $20 for them. So it's about like a $20 to $30 $10 profit, I'll take it. It's crazy how you can't see anything in here, but I did just get a new rack and I have this bag of sneakers that needs to go on the rack. So I'm gonna take the time out to do that really quick, fill this out before I head to the post office. Okay, back at the dungeon. Here is everything that I picked up today. These right here. You see that right there? You see that Ferragamo? I don't even look at dress shoes, to be honest with y'all. I don't know anything about them. I'd be there comping all day to figure out which ones are the good ones or which ones are, but Ferragamo? Oh, we know Ferragamo, baby. And they want $18 for these plus the 20% off plus the extra. So actually I got 13 pairs of shoes and I paid $111 for everything. So that averages out to be about $9.25 per shoe.
The next day.
You can probably see Savers back there. That's where we're about to go. But before I go inside, I just want to sit here and relish in the moment and the fact that I'm starting my own clothing brand. A legit, like real, it's not merch. It's like a legit clothing brand, and I'm wearing it right now. You can't really see the name, but the name of the brand is called Rodinay. I named it after my mom, basically. It's got a lot of work, a lot of work. Like, look, you can the length is not right on this, but the fact that I am wearing something that I designed is, it's hard to find the words this feeling right now. Anyways, we are outside of a Savers. I'm about to go donate a bag of clothes. I can get that 20% off, and then I'm gonna see what they got inside. Okay, the first thing that I pulled up on was a pair of Brooks Catamount 2s, and honestly, they were a little dirty, but the tread looks fantastic, so I added those to the cart. And then I saw this Comme des Garçons or CDG and Converse collab that you can notice it immediately with the iconic heart. Like 10 years ago, everyone was trying to be in CDG, but I can get like $40-50 for these, so I picked them up. I came across a brand that I've never heard of before called Salmon. These are specifically the Salmon Vipers, and they actually sell pretty well, but unfortunately, they're a little too cooked for me trying out a brand that I've never heard of before, but I will be looking out for them in the future. I saw this pair of bright baby blue sneakers staring at me, and these are the Mercurial Vapor 14s. Now the cleats can get you $100 or more. These are apparently soccer turf shoes. I don't know, but I sold them for $50. And then right underneath that is a pair of my bread and butters, the Brooks Ghosts. These are the 16s, I believe, for $15. I mean, the tread is all right. I don't even know why I grabbed these, but I did. New Balance is model dependent. These are a pair of Fresh Foam 880s, and these essentially sell like Brooks for me. Get them for $10 or less and sell them for about $40 as long as they're in good condition, which was the case here, so I picked them up. Now when it comes to Keen, this is a brand that I'm always picking up in their sandals. They sell really well at like $30 to $40. This is a model I haven't seen before, but they are the Highland sneakers, and these can sell for like $50, so I added these to cart ASAP. Finally made my way over to the women's section, and I immediately spot a pair of Brooks Glycerin 18s for only $5.50. They was in pretty alright condition, but unfortunately I could not find the other one anywhere. I looked and looked and looked, but nothing. I think they were just selling this shoe by itself, so unfortunately I had to put it back. But all is not lost, because I turn around and I see a pair of Hoka Clifton 9s. Now they are a little cooked and they're taxing at $13, but the tread is still in decent condition, and that's honestly the most important part. So I picked them up, and they already sold on Poshmark for $30. In a previous video, I mentioned how I like to sometimes pick up really cooked shoes to see if I can try and save them, and that was the case for this pair of New Balance Fresh Foam 880s. They can sell for like $40, and after the discount, it was only going to cost me $8. Plus the tread isn't that bad, so I'm gonna try and save them. And by them, I literally mean plural, because I found a second cooked pair in the same exact size with some pretty decent tread, so I'm gonna try and save them. Came across another pair of Brooks that are in good condition, so you already know those are going in the cart. And Captain Save a Shoe is back at it again. I found these pair of Brooks that were slightly cooked in the toe box area, and you know what, I already got two other pair of cooked shoes that I plan on trying to rescue, so why not add a third one in? All right, I'm gonna be real, that wasn't the greatest trip. I did see some models or some brands, specifically that Salmon brand I think it was called, that I haven't seen before, and although the shoes weren't in good condition and I didn't pick them up, but it was good to learn that brand and that brand sells well. And also I picked up some shoes that I normally would not have have picked up. Like, these joints right here are absolutely disgusting. But I do have some cleaning solution and stain remover back at the dungeon. So I figure I'd try and see if I could somehow revive these absolutely, like, look at that, bro. This is disgusting, destroyed. These are brutally stained. I wish I had like brighter lights to really show y'all, but I'm sure my GoPro probably picked up at least that much. These things are gross. Now I want to be clear here. I have confidence, but I don't have high hopes. These could either be a $90 come up or a $30 waste. Okay, so there's really only like 4 or 5 things that you need or that I use in order to do this. One, some scrubs. One of them being for the top of the shoe and another being for the bottom of the shoe. I can't tell you how many times it took me to realize that cleaning the bottom of the shoe with the same brush that you clean the top of the shoe with can absolutely destroy the shoe. Like, I wrecked some white shoes before and learned my lesson. Also, I always clean them before and during the process, this whole entire process, depending on how many pairs of shoes that I'm cleaning. I only have 3, so I don't think there's gonna be a need for me to clean both my brushes during that time. And then I use this Lysol Lemon Cleanse, all-purpose cleaner completely. It's like $4 or $5. I forget. I have it in my Amazon link down in the description. I like everything that I use is always in my Amazon link down in the description. And lastly, this OxyClean to get the stains out. So what I like to do is, firstly, I just spray it up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Also, I have this giant bin beneath me just to catch the, you know what I'm saying? Just to catch the stuffs. I spray it up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? Spray a little bit on the brush. And I go to town. And this, my goal isn't to like completely clean the shoe off. Although sometimes I look at it, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is actually straight. And I put it to the side, let it dry off, and I take pictures. But really, my idea here is to just kind of get as much dirt off as I can, lift this, like the deep stains that are in the shoe itself. I'm just scrubbing away. I ain't doing nothing crazy. I normally don't do this on camera, so that's why my hands are down here, like right above the bucket. But it's basically just me just scrubbing away. That's it. And yes, with the top brush, I do still get the midsole as well. Then, make sure you don't mix them up. I have done that so many times. Like, this is all trial and error, painful trial and error, mind you. I also keep like little screwdrivers. I think there's like to fix a Nintendo or something. I kind of forget. It's been so long since I've dabbled in that. But there's sometimes be like gunk, gum, rocks, screws, nails, whatever. Just get that up. Yo, this is in there for real. Spray the bottom and then use the bottom. Now, this process, cleaning the bottoms, you want to get all the, like, not all the dirt, but just get as much of the dirt off as possible, so that when you throw it in the washer, there isn't like little dirts all up in the washing machine, potentially getting on the other shoes and stuff like that. And when I started, I used to just throw it in the washer. It's like, forget it, I don't care. And I take it out, and there would still be like some dirt in the shoe still, and I would still have to scrub it afterwards. So no point in doing, might as well just scrub it before and then throw it in the wash. And then I always have a rag. Clean your rags often, dude. These things, they start smelling like, I don't even know. They start smelling so bad, bro, after a while. Please, you got to clean your rags. Boom. This actually looks pretty nice. And then just repeat for all the shoes. And as you can see, it's a pretty messy job in the sense that the suds just fly around. So make sure you're in an area, if you're doing this, make sure you're in an area where you're okay with the suds that go into surfing. Also, I forgot to mention this before, and normally I do this before I start cleaning the shoe, but I always take a picture of the tag, the price tag, and then I rip it out before I wash it, of course. And I take a picture of the price tag so that I don't forget what I paid for the shoe, because in my custom SKU section, in my listings, that's where I put how much I paid for each shoe. And then that way, if I send out an offer or if somebody sends me an offer or something like that, I know exactly what I spent on it and how much I'm gonna be getting from it. Okay, that is all the pairs. Now this next part, I honestly normally do in the garage, but for the sake of this video, I'll just do it right here on my table. And so now I just take my OxyClean Max Force and I just generously spray it And mostly, it kind of depends on how destroyed and chopped the shoes are. But if it's like messed up and just like one little part of the shoe, I just spray that part, boop, 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 and move on. But if the shoes are chopped, I just get it all over. Just like, yo, y'all need a blessing for real. I basically treat this stuff like holy water. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, y'all need to get blessed for real. And a lot of times you miss the tongue. Make sure you get the tongue because the tongue and the laces be dirty and stained up. Make sure you get those. Now what makes this stuff so dope is that you have up until 7 days after you spray it to get this stuff laundered. So depending on how busy you are and stuff, you can spray it, come back a couple hours, come back a couple days later, which I've actually had to do, and then get them washed. But what I do is if I'm that busy where I got to come back the next day or to the point where they're like dry, I'll just give it a one more. I won't go crazy like I did before, but I will give it a once over. We'll go over all of them and then bring them to the laundromat like that.
The next day.
Okay, it's like the next day or so, and I just put them in the laundry on like super heavy load or whatever it's called, and I use just some regular tie. Everything is gonna be in my Amazon link in the description, but I set them out to air dry. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but whatever you do not put them in the dryer. Just put them out to air dry. They will shrink, but bro, like, yo, look at the white ones, bro. I can't, yo, look at, bro. Hold on, we did that. These things are crispy clean. What is Rad Resell? I think their name is Rad. What, crispy clean cheese? I forget. But yo, like, this is really good. I'm so impressed. I like I said, I had confidence but not hope, but dang, has my hope been restored. These are some shoes over here that I didn't film picking up that needed to be cleaned. These ones just smell like straight up cigarettes. Yeah, way better, way better. Now they smell like detergent. But yeah, these actually these are some like surprisingly I don't want to say expensive, but they have value to them. I forget exactly how much. I'll pop it up on the screen for y'all, but be on the lookout for these. These are some Addictions, I believe. Yeah, some Addiction walking shoes from Brooks, and I was super shocked when I found them.
Several days later.
Good morning, y'all. I just pulled up to the Flea. It's a little late, 7 a.m. right now. I was up all night drinking, so I feel kind of awful. But let's see what we can find. There is so many people here already. It's gonna be an interesting day. Honestly, this trip sucked. I didn't grab much. As I was making my way to my sneaker guy, I already saw somebody loading up a giant trash bag full of shoes. So by the time I got there was literally nothing. I didn't buy anything from him. So then I came to this table, and this couple sometimes have shoes. I was interested in these Vomeros, but they were taxing at $60, and that was a hard pass. But down on the floor, they had these Gucci foam posits that were in really good condition, except there was paint chipping on one of the shoes. Now, I previously bought a pair of Gucci foam posits from this very couple and sold them for like $60, and those were cooked. So I was definitely happy to pick these up. Now, I normally don't like paying more than $20 for foams, but since these were in such good condition, I was okay with paying $25 this time. And then for a small personal pickup, I came across this table of this dude selling DVDs, and I collect DVDs, and since it was such a slow day, I decided to rummage through the bins, and I ended up grabbing 6 for $5. Although it was 8 at first, I had to unfortunately put back 2, but I'm still happy with what I got. Then I came to the table of one of my favorite vendors, and he's honestly one of my favorites just because he's so dang funny. But he actually ended up having some shoes this time, a pair of pink toe Reebok Questions and a pair of Supreme Air Force Ones. After some wild haggling, you're 25 for both?
27.
What is 26?
All right, done.
All right. I ended up getting both pairs for $26, and they actually both sold already on Depop to the same person for a total of $82.50. And then the last deal of the day, which actually ended up being my best deal of the day, my dog, my homie, my go-to every time I come to the Flea, sold me 5 pair of Cortezes for $15, and 4 of the 5 pair already sold, 3 on Depop and 1 on eBay. Big come up. Wasn't nothing too crazy at the Flea today. Actually, what happened today is what I expected my first 2 trips to be like. So I'm not like super surprised that there wasn't anything there. And I actually could have got some shoes, but as y'all probably saw, before I even got a chance, somebody was just buying them all up. 2 whole bags full. It is what it is. But I am now about to head to the thrift store with wifey. So maybe we find some heat there. Let's find out. Nope, there was in fact no heat at that thrift store. Ended up grabbing just these Vans boots. I think they're snow boots or something like that. I was checking out comps and I think they're selling for like $80, $100. I got them for whatever 20% off of $11 is. Overall, this wasn't like a crazy trip to the Flea / thrift. I got good things at like good prices, like all of these Cortez for $3 a pop, and they sell for roughly, I'll say $30. That's not bad. You know what I'm saying? $3 into 30 or 20 plus shipping. I just call it, I do $30 free shipping. I think some of them like these and maybe these might go for like $40, but I'll say average is about $30 plus shipping for all of them, and they don't require like any cleaning at all. Like I can just sit down. These need a wiping. Like they've got some, like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of scuzzy on it. Need a little bit of wipe. Then we have these pink toe Reebok Questions. I can get like $50, $60 for, coupled with these for $26 because the vendor was being silly. Yeah, I ended up paying $26 for both of them. And these, I'm gonna check to see if they are real. Hopefully they pass. Picked up some DVDs as well for the personal collection. There was also Inglourious Basterds in here. I think it was like 6 DVDs for $5, but I gave that to my brother because I already had Inglourious Basterds. I just forgot. But I'm hyped up on this. I Am Legend, Independence Day, The Book of Eli, some of my favorite movies. Looper is also fantastic, and I need to get the rest of the Underworld collection. These are probably the biggest hit of the day. They do have a little bit of scuffing on the toe box, but other than that, these are in fantastic condition. No cleaning required. Really good condition. I sold the last pair that I got from them really fast, actually, like maybe 2 days after I listed it, for like $60 in way worse condition. So these I'm getting $100 minimum, definitely, and I paid 25 bucks for these, which is definitely more than I like to pay for foams. I like to cap out on any sneaker really at $20 depending on the shoe, but really for foams I cap out on $20. But these were in such immaculate condition. They asked for 25. I said whatever. But like I said, this trip wasn't anything crazy, but I will be making some good money from each of these pickups right here. But with that being said, I'm gonna end this video and I'll catch y'all on the next one.